Hi, welcome to the patch notes rundown. This is a very large patch, so let's get into it. Experience. So, if you're taking lane minions with two people, the penalty is slightly reduced, uh, but the difference is rather small. So, I mean, the amount of times this would add up to being a level is pretty small. But overall, if you're a jungler taxing your laner, you will get slightly more XP, but the penalty of the jungle item still applies, and mostly for bot lane, it's possible that you'll be a level ahead um, relative to the previous patches. So, but it's very small. Jungle monster XP. So this one's interesting. So, the first like two rotations are unchanged, but after that it goes up considerably. Um, so yeah, I mean junglers will be up a level. That's pretty much it. And the Scuttle XP is also up. The first one is still garbage. Second one is as well actually, but it starts adding up from the third one onwards. So that's really nice. And shared champion XP kill is going down. Yeah, it's going down. So yeah, less. So you're getting more XP from taxing your laners and less from killing people. Is pretty much it. Why we don't know. So the bounties. So the base bounty for having a 2 kill streak goes from 450 to 400. So this is only just the 100 bounty you would get because 300 is an average kill. Um, so yeah, it's less punishing to give up a bounty, I guess. CS bounty is also going down slightly, and if you're griefing, you will become worth uh, less when you start griefing, but unchanged when you're hard griefing. Okay, I mean, yeah, it makes stuff less snowbally, I guess, but only slightly so. Corki's getting a whole lot of changes. Basically, um, the big thing you need to pay attention to is the R because the recharge rate is going up by a lot and the ammo is going down. So he'll become less of a spam bot and he's gonna be more of a regular ADC. So it will depend entirely upon how strong like going ADC will be. Also, important thing to mention is that the 80% magic damage is gone now. He does physical damage and true damage on top of it. So if you are gonna look into all these changes, you have to take into consideration that you'll be doing 115 damage total instead of the 100% damage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, the package is gone. Wow, that's huge. Okay, never mind. I mean, it's just gonna be a really short range ADC, and unless the damage here is gonna be insane. Oh, wait a second. Basic attack on it against a reduced recharge time. Okay, yeah, but that's not gonna like matter unless like you're hard winning. This is like a win more ability. Um, so ooh, the base numbers are going up. Um, interesting. I'm not sure what to make of him. Like with package gone, he'll be gone from pro play, and he was never a solo queue menace to begin with. So I think he'll just disappear. But I'm not entirely sure if that's because he's bad or not. But it doesn't look good from what I can tell. Cho'Gath. So damage cap on E is down. So you're not generally not building wave item on this champion. You're not building Titanic anymore. You're not building Sunfire. I mean, you can build Sunfire, but it's like maybe with this, if you have the mana pool, you can skip going wave item. That's nice. Also the monster cap is gone, but um, I mean he could jungle. He could jungle. His problem is like uh, he needs to play in a composition where the enemy doesn't have like really good anti-tank champions. And I think with all the AC buffs that are in this patch, that won't be the case sadly. Cassante. So So health growth slightly up, base shield on E goes up by 40 at max rank. Okay, but 0 at 1 rank, so I don't know, man. Like, it's like, imagine like a late game fight where you're against like a Jinx. It's like the 40 base shield gonna be the difference? Probably not. Seth. They're trying to bring Seth jungle back. Okay, I don't think his clear will be that good with this buff because it's just 100 damage, right? And his W's long cooldown is not very spammable, so this won't make a huge difference. Also, he has like a lot of issues. Like as a champion, he's pretty crappy as it is, so he probably won't make it into jungle. Skarner, from what I could tell, so basically he's sort of unchanged, but the most important thing is that his recast on the R is going down, but he's no longer unstoppable, which means you can't necessarily interrupt him, but you can displace him, if that makes sense. So if you have like a Gragas or a Lee Sin, this is a quite a big nerf, like against good players. But other than that, if you're not playing him into those, then he's unchanged. From what I can tell, his numbers are still really good. Like like for example, his monster cap damage is going down, but it's only when it's ranked up. Like his early clear is slow, but he's still just a massive juggernaut. And for support, he's practically unchanged. So might actually be buffed because Q cooldown is going down. Um, yeah. I mean, it's still a nerf, right? But it's not that big of a deal. You can still play him jungle support. Uh, so Tryndamere, he gets a bonus crit chance based on his Fury. Now, if you're Max Fury, it's 50% crit instead of 40, and this is to make his builds feel better, I guess, because to change the crit items to go from 20% crit to 25% crit. Um, I mean, this is nice buff for him early. But I mean, yeah, it's a nice buff for sure. Viego. Um, so healing against minions is going up to 50%, and I think this could bring lane Viego back. Because there's also gonna be a mini rune coming in a precision tree, which is similar to the old feast. So you'll get some additional healing from killing a minion. So it's possible with like the right rune setup, like Lane Viego could come back. Um, Yasuo. So yeah, similar change to the or similar reasoning as with the Tryndamere changes. So its crit chance multiplier is going down from 2.5 to 2, but the bonus AD for access crit chance is going up to 50%. So he's unchanged when he starts laning. He's slightly weaker when he gets his like first item, maybe. But once he's like two plus items, he's actually getting buffed, so his late game is gonna be better. I think that's fair. This shouldn't be like a huge deal for him early mid game. And actually, if you don't build a crit item first, but I think they will remove Blade of Ruined King, so maybe you will go back to crit. So interesting. But I think like Yasuo is a counter pick, right? If you pick him in the right spot, the initial nerf doesn't matter. And this is just a small buff this late game. Okay, Yone, similar thing going on. Exact same thing I said about Yasuo goes for Yone. Corrupting Pot removed, Dawncore. AP up by 20. Heal shield power is going down. But the AP is going up. No summoner spell haste and no haste. Oh, it also now gives 16% heal and shield power. Okay. Yeah, this could be like a good item for like a full build heal shield power champion. Especially if you stack the items that give mana regen. Like if you're an enchanter, you're getting this late. That's pretty much it. But for majority of games, it won't really matter because enchants usually don't get there. Max Stacks, Exophilia. Oops. So stacks are going down, but the damage is going up, and the big thing is the heal is almost getting doubled. So this is just a huge buff all in all. You have to hit less of your abilities, and like even if you hit like two, it's almost the same damage, but having the heal doubled is huge. This is really big. So like my Milio and whoever builds this will love this. I don't think it changes when you build this honestly. Um, I don't think there are champions that are gonna start building this that weren't previously, but it's really good. Shrelia getting nerfed. Okay, this item this is like a huge nerf. Yeah, I'd be very careful with build. I wouldn't like slam this like I would build this more situationally. Like if you're a team, if you're like a support type champion and your team absolutely needs a move speed, then you have to build this, but otherwise stay away. It's situational item now. It's a big nerf. And I've much change. Removed Varmox, 250 health added. So Varmox is gonna be nuts. You're gonna be building this a lot. Fimbulwinter is also getting like a ruby crystal added, and all Bones HP is getting doubled per mana. But the thing is, this isn't that high value. If you do the math on like bonus mana, like the biggest buff you're getting from this all effect is the base mana all champions have pretty much. And if you like translate mana on other items, then it's still gonna be 8 to 15. It looks big, but it's not that big. But getting extra ruby crystals is nice. Um, so I mean this item was very weak, but we'll see if people end up building. I think Warmock's gonna be huge. Because like there are not that many good tank items in the game anymore. Um, Winter Prone, just same buff symbol. Bummy Cinder, okay, this is huge. So the 100 gold less is insane because a lot of junglers can full clear Scuttle for 900 gold if they started without a potion. But the health's going down by 100, but you're getting 5 ability hits for it. Um, yeah, build path kind of sucks by the way, so there's that. But it shouldn't really matter because you're still getting this on your first clear. And yeah, most champions just want to have the passive, and like they don't really care too much about like extra health or whatever. Um, yeah, so Sunfire and Hollow Radiance now give haste. The health is down, which sucks. Um, I mean, I think most champs that build this don't really care that they're getting extra haste instead of health. They'll probably be going Warmock second anyway. So yeah, there's that. So around the win, the crit passive is oh, the crit passive, is it still there? Um, I think it is. Hold on, let's check. Um, yeah, it's still there. Okay, that's actually really big. Um, yeah, that's totally anti-crit item. Like the active is buffed, but the cooldown's down, health is down. Okay, the 75 armor is nice. I don't know what to make to it. Like this is anti-crit. That's just pretty much it. Unending Despair. So with removing Gene's Hunter, they're reducing the cooldown, which is nice. So you can build this item on like tanky champs if you don't have the rune. Nice, pretty good item. Not great, but it's alright. Abyssal Mask. So this one is getting cheaper. It's now unique with Void Summer Crypt Room, and now instead of reducing MR, it just gives a 20% MR shred with a slightly bigger range. And the MR you're gaining from champs going up by one, which doesn't really matter. So this is a really good item on like AP bruisers if the enemy's building MR. If they're not, it sucks. But let's say you're playing Singed and you have like an AP mid laner and enemies like getting a lot of MR, like their AC is getting MR, whatever, you're playing Cassio or Silas. Can be a great item. Also great in Udyr if the enemy builds MR. So really nice that that's an option now. Knight's Vow. Um, so the damage redirection buff when you're low when um yeah when your low HP is going down. Um, So yeah, this is just a nerf. But the armor and MR of the knight now applies. So it's not pre-mitigation damage war. Okay, so this requires a lot of math to figure out what this does. So I'm gonna assume it's a nerf. But yeah, you actually need to do a lot of math to figure out whether it's good or not. I will say that if you're building this on a champion that builds a lot of armor and MR, then it's gonna be better versus a situation where you're not. That's pretty much it. Zeke's, this item's kind of trash. Okay, it doesn't give mana. It gives 100 health. It gives 25 or more. It hastes this down. I don't know, this is such a weird item, man. Yeah, it's pretty crappy. Banshees. So, yeah, build buff just changed. Doesn't really matter too much. New item, Blackfire Torch. So this is basically Leandri's, but with the Lost Chapter item. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The burn does kill with your total AP, so there's that. Faded Ashes. This is like another burn item. Yeah, this is the recipe for Blackfire Torch. Okay, makes sense. Ludens. I'm curious if there will be some champions that build this and sit on it. Probably not, but it's interesting. In the same way, like someone would sit on Bamisend or Tiamat, because it buffs up clears considerably. Luden's Companion. The passive damage is going up, the repeat damage is going up. This is just a fat buff. This is actually huge for mages. Liandry's build buff changed, okay. I mean, since the Fate Ash built into this, you're probably not gonna sit on it. I thought the Fate Ash would just go into the Blackfire torch thingy, but that's not the case. Verdant is cheaper, this is a buff, clearly. Overlord Blood Mill. So this has the old Titanic passive. So this is great for champions to stack AD and health. I'm thinking like Jax. Oh, this is huge. This is great. Like this passive was great on the previous iteration of Titanic. So like if you're playing like Scion late game, you just slam this, you get like 200 AD. It's nice. And Blade of Ruined King. Ooh, the passive's getting nerfed. Huge nerf. Huge nerf. Yeah, this item sucks. Like these step buffs. I mean, this just. Yeah, like yeah, this item isn't good. Like it's gonna be more of like a frozen mallet type thing for like on hit champions like Yi, and they will probably still build this just because of their on hit synergy still not. But for like a lot of champions that don't really have huge on hit synergies, this isn't gonna be a good item anymore. So if you're like a random champion abusing like Brave Ruined King, it's probably not worth it anymore. Probably. Black Cleaver, so 30% arm pen 6. So these buffs are nice because like bruisers don't really have access to armor pen outside of this item. Uh, but the thing is, the way like bruisers function, they often like still try to one-shot squishies. Like they often still play like assassins, and yeah, this passive often has very little value against them. So it doesn't really change when you build this. It's still gonna be on the anti-tank item. That's pretty much it. If you don't fire, if you're like full physical damage champion and you're playing into tanks and you are gonna be hitting the tanks, then your buildings otherwise not. It doesn't change really when you're gonna build it or not. So the auto attack reduction is going down by a third, but the armor is going up by 5. It's a nerf, but it's a pretty big nerf honestly, because this 4% is huge late game. Big nerf. No Mobies removed. So there's this new item, and once it's upgraded, you'll get an empowered recall. and 10 extra movement speed. So this is huge for split pushers because empowered recall is absolutely busted. If you plan on side laning, this item is nuts. You can just, abuse blue trinket, and when enemies rotating for you, you just go bye bye. Yeah, this is gonna be really good. I'm not only thinking of like top lanes, but also like rise mid. You know, if you in the mid late game you end up side laning, then this is gonna be a great item. Bloodthirster. So it does give bonus health, but it now gives a lot of it now gives the shield passive up to 400, which is quite a lot, and the 80 is also going to 80. So this is gonna be probably Draven's rush item. If you have insane AD ratios, you're gonna be building this. That's pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't have CDR, so Raven isn't gonna build it. But if you just want bonker AD ratios, you build this. Like if you're Draven, you build this. That's pretty much it. Uh, Collector. Okay, these changes aren't that interesting. They're basically making everything have 25% crit instead of 20% crit, which means you're at full crit with 4 items, so you have 1 item left to build like QSS or Bloodthirst or whatever. But overall, these are just ADC buffs. So Ezreal doesn't have the Sheen anymore, so it's a nerf to Ezreal. I mean, it's not a nerf because Ezreal will probably build Triforce. Maybe Quick Blades, will get into that a bit later. Um, yeah, but champions that build it for mana but don't really care for the Sheen passive, they will still build this. So I'm thinking like Lucian. Lucian's gonna love this. He's okay. He's gonna have to farm 2 waves more, like a minute. But he's getting 5% more crit, 5 ability haste, 5 AD. Um, I mean, yeah, actually, that's really not that great. Mm, for like the amount of for 300 gold extra, not really sure. It's probably still gonna be a good item for him, but yeah, I don't think like it's not buffed. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, like it's dead for Ezreal, and Drangar. Shield bow. Okay, lifesteal's gone. So it just has the AD and the crit, and still has the passive. It does have the lifeline passive, just not the lifesteal, which is fair. But I think in most situations you will still end up building Bloodthirster over this. But Bloodthirster is not a crit item anymore, right? Yeah. So okay, interesting. Personally, I think the shield is just too small to warrant ever going this item. It's like super situational. Um, so IH just getting 15 AD on it. Okay, this is actually a huge buff because it's only 100 gold. So if you farm 1 wave more or 1 camp more, you can buy this and you get 15 extra AD and 5% extra crit. Huge. This energized thing is removed. Kraken. Um, it now gives movement speed, but it doesn't give crit, so it's on it. Okay, I think a lot of champions that were building this for this passive, but didn't really care about the crit. So like Master Yi, they're absolutely gonna love this. Like this is a huge item for Master Yi. But also like Viego and stuff. Like imagine having a first item, getting like silly on hit passive, more AD, more attack speed, and 7% move speed. Like this is gonna be an insane item. Lord Dominic's armor pen is going up and 80's up, but doesn't. Usually this is buff. A lot. I mean, some ADCs into like heavy tank comps will would get benefit from the max health passive, but on a lot of champions, it used to be a very small difference. So there's that. Also, if you're winning, you typically have more base HP, which means you would get less benefit even. So this is just buff. That makes it a lot more reliable. QSS doesn't give crit anymore now because lifesteal is great. Um, so if you have to build QSS, you can now complete it into an item that gives lifesteal instead of crit, which is far more beneficial to most bruisers, for example. But yeah, QSS is still kind of shitty. Uh, Pretty much if you're forced into buying it. Mortal Reminder is just getting the crit buffed, but doesn't have the changes that Lord Dominik's has. So Lord Dominik's probably gonna be the better item in pretty much every situation actually. Okay, Navori. So yeah, it's the same item and now gives movement speed, but no haste, and does give AD. Okay, so this is very interesting. The cooldown refund is going up, but I think with the fact that it doesn't give AD, yeah, I find it so weird. Like I'm thinking this is a bug, right? Uh, I mean it's not a bug. They actually mention it. So, but it doesn't give AD. Okay. It's somewhat cheaper. I don't think a lot of champions will want to spend 2600 gold and not get any ability haste. So, like this is interesting. Interesting. It does give crits. It could be like a third item for some champions. I'm thinking like what kind of ADCs like want move speed, attack speed? Uh, I can't really think of something off the top of my head. Uh, yeah, maybe like Ash, Noonquiver. Oh, but yeah, Ash doesn't really use the cooldown refund, so this thing. I mean, like Sivir is the only thing I can think of. Uh, okay, there are just some recipe changes. Build path is worse, and yeah, this is a pretty big nerf to junglers that were building this. So Viego, Kindred, etc. Graves, their clear is gonna be slower. But I think the item was kind of not on them in the jungle anyway. It also slows down your clear, but most ADCs really didn't need this passive to help them clear faster. Phantom Dancer doesn't give AD anymore, but it's more movement speed and crit chance now. Also, the attack speed is doubled. Like this, absolutely 60% attack speed is nuts. I think far more champions will build this. In addition to like the Affinity Edge and the Rush item as like the second, third item, and very few champions will build Navori now. Rapid Fire Cannon. So attack speed buff, no AD. Okay, so they're removing like there's not that many items that give AD. Yeah, interesting. So Essence Reaver, Shield, Bow, and Kraken are the crit items that give AD. So it's kind of like the old Mythic system. They're like tunneling you into a Mythic system without the game like forcing you into it, but they're like balancing it in a way that you're sort of forced into a Mythic system. So if you're building crit, you're gonna build one of these three: Kraken, um, Essence Reaver, and Shield Bow for your AD item. And then you're either gonna pick up the attack speed item or the Infinity. It's probably the Infinity Edge for most champions, unless you really need the attack speed. And then the attack speed items are gonna be your fourth item, and the armor pens are gonna be your fourth item. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Runons, no on hits. Bolt AD scaling is going up. Okay, this gives you some extra AoE. Can be really good if you're a hyper carry like Kog'Maw. It's also cheaper. Yeah, this is gonna be great for Kog'Maw. Uh, I mean, maybe Kog'Maw will go crit. Who knows? You never know. Terminus. So Terminus getting small nerf. This item was bonkers. It's okay now, pretty much. No Storm Razor, Static Shift, no crits, but slightly more attack speed. Oh, this is like a reset. Okay. on champion kills. But it still has the wave clear. So yeah, this could be like a rush item for a lot of champions. If you're not going Kraken or Shield Bow or Essence Reaver, you go this for on most ADCs. And then you get the Infinity at second. That makes a lot of sense. Cyclo Sword is unchanged pretty much, just the build path changed. Yuntal Wild Arrows. Critical strike deal 35% total 80 additional physical damage over time. Um, yeah, I'm assuming the passive doesn't really stack, so this is gonna be really good for poke. If you have like a free, this is gonna be a good combo with like rapid fire cannon. Uh, in like on some champs in some spots. Cause you hit them with one auto and then you deal like a huge burn. Zephyr is back. Yeah, this is like a boot. So if you have berserkers, you buy this instead of selling an item. So this is just a late game buff to ADC pretty much. Because a lot of ADCs late game they just value the movement speed too much to sell their boot. But now you just get like an extra strong boot for a random reason. Recurve bow is physical damage now. Hardbound X gives more attack speed, more AD. It's also more expensive. This is actually a nerf. Nah, not really, because it builds up so many components that you can still you're not gonna be in trouble for not being able to complete this. So that's nice. It's not like BF swords, where if you don't have the 400 gold, you can't buy it because it has components. Slingshots. This is a new component for 900 gold, 20% attack speed. Oh. It's gonna depend on the cooldown on this item whether it's good or not. It doesn't really say what the cooldown is. Zeal, more crit. This is just a buff, but this component was very good, so I think it's fine. But it's quite a big buff actually. It's like 205% more crit. Um, Dagger's getting nerfed. Okay, I don't know. That's really bad actually. Spells. So Ghost getting a huge nerf, 30-second longer. So now the window in which you can abuse this while the enemy doesn't have flash is smaller, but like the 10-second duration is way too short. Like you're still gonna go this spell if you're playing like Saints or like Udyr, that type of thing, but like it's so bad now, man. So Cancel getting buffed, now gets more tenacity. But the cooldown is up. Exhaust slow is up. I mean, no one uses exhaust for that. If you use exhaust for slow, you're just bad. That's it. Barrier duration is going up by half second. Shield's now also bigger. Warwick is gonna love this in top lane. Heals unchanged. Just the range is changed. There's no actual value added. Predators removed. Heal off blades. 110% for melee champions. All range users get penalized. So they're tunneling range users into going precision 3. No Ingenious Hunter, Sun Impact. Instead of giving lethality magic pen, it now gives true damage. So it's gonna be a toss up if you have a dash or you have CC, whether you go cheap shot or Sun Impact. Relentless Hunter. So this is actually a big nerf. So now you don't get the 5 movement speed without having complete any stacks. In solo queue in jungle, you'll probably still take this. If you value out of yeah, probably you're probably still gonna take this. Um, but yeah, for a lot of other champions, other roles, probably not. Lethal tempo has been removed. Okay, yeah, that's nice because this rune was like the entire game was based around this rune pretty much. Just gave too much gold value when stacked. It's like fighting someone that has an extra item once it was stacked. So basically every champion became like an Aurelia if they had that keystone. So PTA now only applies to your own damage, but the damage is up. Um, no, damage unchanged actually. So this is actually nerfed, so it only helps. Yeah, it only applies to yourself. Okay, but there's it doesn't fall off. So instead of 6 seconds, it's until you leave combat. So this could also be a good buff for top lane, actually. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Great for champions that have auto reset, actually. Also range champions. I feel like a lot of AD carries will build this. Overheals removed. Absorb life. Yeah, this is the old feast I was talking about. You get 2 to 17 health per minion. So you're getting like uh, 18 HP off a wave on like level 3. So if you're like level 4, you get like 50 HP a minute. It's not great, but I think it does help. Tenacity is removed. This is huge nerf to bruisers that relied on this, actually. It's really big nerf. Udyr, it also kills Singed, Conqueror Singed. Now you get bonus basic ability haste, so not for ult, just for basic abilities. I mean, this is actually pretty nice for a lot of champions, because a lot of champions that go into precision 3 don't build haste that much. Cut down. So this one only applies. Interesting. Champions above 6% max health. Oh, it's not based on the health difference anymore. It's if you just auto people above 6% health, you'll deal more damage. Yeah, I can see this being like a go-to rune for pretty much most ADCs. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Fleet is slightly nerfed, but the movement speed duration is up actually. So heals is slightly down, but movement speed duration is up. Um, I think for good players this is a buff. So Fault for Life changed. It now, as long as immobilizing enemy champion now heals you and nearby ally with the least health. Yeah, this is just a buff, so it makes it very easier to use. Uh, yeah, like champions like Ivern for example are gonna love this. Uh, Basically all the enchanters that's back into the Resolve tree, they're gonna love this. Even some of the like more tanky sports. Futures marks remove cashback. You get 6% gold back on purchase of a legendary item. So let's see, items 3k. So you're getting 150 gold per item. So once you've built 3 items, you get a call. I mean, it sounds pretty bad, actually. This is the type of thing you'll take if there's nothing better. If like for example you can't go magical food bear because you need early boots, or you're playing Cassiopeia, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Main demat is gone, jack of all trades. For each unique stat you get a bunch of stats. So basically, the way this rune will work is if you're playing a champion that builds core items that have a lot of different stats, then you're just gonna be taking this. So I'm thinking like Terminus because it gives AD AP and attack speed, and then Jaxo. So if you're like one of those Terminus Jaxo users, like Varus or Kog'Maw, this is gonna be great rune.
Other than that, it's awful. Like you really need to think of a build before using it. Time Warp Tonic. The upfront healing is up. Oh, no bonus movement speed. Okay, this is terrible. Like the upfront healing buff isn't big enough to make up for this. This is awful. They might as well remove this actually. Like if it's gonna be this week. So first strike damage amp's going up, but the gold gained, it's going down if you're dealing a lot of damage, but the base gold gained when you proc it is going up. So it's gonna be more stable and less snowbally. But the 1% extra damage amp is pretty nice. I think overall this is a buff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow. Lots of very small changes, but overall it's not super impactful. But there's some spicy stuff. So Cassante, did we see Cassante? I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, these changes don't matter. The summoners, the ghost nerf is huge. Yeah, for tanks, you're gonna be building a lot of Warmogs for the HP. Bammy is huge for tank junglers. Also, the fact that this now gives CDR, I think tank junglers are gonna be buffed. ADCs are gonna be buffed. Um, and yeah, enchanters are gonna come back for the ADCs, like if they weren't already. That's pretty much it. I think most boosters are still awful actually. Um, yeah, so for ADCs, you're gonna be building uh, either Essence Reaver, Shield Bow, or Kraken, and then going to IE or Navori, and then building one of these attack speed items that they've just all these items that have been reworked. I mean, some champs will rush Shiv. That's pretty much it. And the all-net champions will probably still go Terminus. Yeah. Also, ADCs now have late game boots. Really nice. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, ADCs are the big winners. Tank junglers are slightly buffed. Enchanters probably also slightly buffed. I did see some things in the runes that they would like. So that was quite a long patch notes rundown. I hope you got something out of it. See you next time. Bye.